Okay, just a few things that I want to mention. One, service on the altar is most. Sorry, let me turn this down. The important thing to pay attention to, and this is something that I am saying specifically to you guys for your spiritual life, not just for the good of how well Mass is going to run, for your spiritual life. The less you draw attention to yourself, the better of a shamasha you are. The more people realize that you're there, the worse of a job you're doing. Your job is to be invisible, to make sure that the worship of the people of God is so smooth that they don't even realize you're there. When do you pay attention to a tool that you're using, an instrument that you're making use of? You notice it when it's doing a bad job. Let's say you're writing with a pen. Let's say I pick up a marker and I'm writing on the board. I'm not going to pay attention to the marker. I'm going to pay attention to what I'm writing. I'm only going to notice the marker when it doesn't work well. If you are being noticed at Mass, it means you're doing a bad job. Your job is to be invisible. You go up and you do the reading. You do the reading in a way that draws attention to St. Paul, not to yourself. You say ahayha wishlam ahad al-had in a way that draws attention to the words that you're saying, to the peace that Christ is giving to the people, not to yourself. You sing Hamzam Nitun, or you sing a hymn or whatever in a way that makes people think of God, not you. And that means what we're doing at Mass is the opposite of what we would do, I don't know, on if we're in like a Broadway show or something like that. If you're in a show, if you're a stand-up comedian, if you're the bride or groom of a wedding, if you are, I don't know, if you're center stage in any way, there's a certain way that you're going to act. Right now, I'm giving a speech to you guys. You're going to pay attention to me. Mass is not like that at all. Mass, Christ is the star. And everybody else, we are at most his backup singers. And if a backup singer starts to sing in a way that's grabbing attention more than whoever they're being backup singers to, they're doing a bad job and they'll get fired. Like Whitney Houston would not tolerate that for 5 seconds. Okay? Or whoever. Okay, there's Andrew. Okay? So what does that mean practically speaking? What does it mean practically speaking to not draw attention to yourself? I mean, number one, it means you don't make noise when you're up at the altar, because then people are going to look from the cross to you. And instead of worshiping God, they're going to be paying attention to you. If you're making noise, if you're moving around, if you're going into that back room, and you're ruining it, you're ruining people's prayer, you're doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do as a shemasha. But another way to think about this is when you are saying the parts of Mass, when you're singing the hymns, you sing them along with everybody else, including the people in the pews. If you're in the choir, Monica's job is to lead everybody singing to God. The choir's job is to lead everybody singing to God. That's why even the choir, just like the Shemasha, are all facing the center. They're all facing the altar. Okay? So that means even the way that you sing. And this is why I'm really strict and I'm kind of mean about, no, you don't get to play with like the melodies. Sometimes it's such a simple thing and people don't even do it on purpose. Simple melody. That's the way everybody has sung it forever, as far as we know. We don't have like musical notation, but that's the way every shemasha. When I was growing up, everybody knows that's the way you sing it. Okay, so what's the big deal if somebody sort of makes it a little bit more fancy? Why not? It's making it pretty, isn't it? No, it's not. It's drawing attention to you. It's about your creativity now and not about God anymore, and not about the liturgy of the church. Why is it a big deal? It is. Because that little extra note that you're adding is going to make people think about you and not Christ. Whereas if they hear the same thing that they've heard their whole life, they're not even going to notice it. They're only going to notice Christ. You see why this is a big deal? This is not the place for... If you want to go home and sing it like you're Celine Dion, do that. Go turn on your shower and sing as much as you want. Do that all you want at home, not at church and not in the liturgy. The liturgy is not about you. Okay? Shlam Aman. That's it. Some people say Shlam Aman and it takes them 45 minutes, or it feels like it. What's the big deal? Because you're drawing attention to yourself. You're not serving anymore. Now it's not about you serving the liturgy and helping people pray to God. Now it's about the liturgy serving you and helping you to show off yourself and bring the attention to yourself. Again, I'm not saying you're doing this on purpose or anybody's doing this on purpose, but that's what's happening. Okay? So it's about humility, it's about invisibility, it's about bowing our heads and saying, this is not about me, look at Christ. All right? Good. So that's just kind of a spiritual thing to pay attention to. Reverence is a part of this. When we are close to the altar, like all of us are, we serve all the time, we're very near the Qurbana, we're near the tabernacle, we're near the gospel book, we're near the altar itself, we're in the sanctuary. It becomes in our, because we have our little monkey brains, because we're near something, it becomes normal to us, it becomes ordinary, even though this is not ordinary at all. And so one of the ways we can keep fresh the feeling of reverence, that this is a place that is awesome, that I should be terrified to even be here in a sort of sinful state. One of the ways we can keep that awe in our hearts is to be reverent. When you go into the church, at the very least, you give a good bow, but you can kneel on one knee when you walk into the church. The practice in the Roman Catholic Church is you kneel on one knee, you genuflect when you go into a church in front of the tabernacle. If the Eucharist is exposed, you kneel on both knees and you bow your head. That's the kind of standard Roman Catholic practice, but at least something. Whereas when we're doing stuff and we're always there, I'm going to light the candles and whatever, I'm just kind of walking and just like, whatever. I do it too. I'm not saying I'm better than you guys, but something to remind ourselves, I am in an awesome place. I am before the throne of God. At least let my body remind me the kind of place that I'm in, even if my mind can forget sometimes. Does that make sense? And that means no talking. It means don't go on your phone. Oh, this text, I got just one quick thing. Go outside and do it. If it's that important, go outside. Well, it's not that important. Then put your phone away. You know what I mean? What else? When it comes to learning this stuff, learning these melodies, you're going to learn about music. Some people just very naturally can hear and match melodies. I don't know what that is. I think part of it is genetic. Some people they're just genetically predisposed. They're kind of musical people, and you can sing. I'm going to sing this note, and then if you're going to sing, you're going to match that note perfectly. Other people have to really, really try very hard just to match a note. I don't know what it is. Again, it could be genetics. It could be when you were growing up, you were singing more. You were listening to music more. I have no idea. Whatever it is, if you're one of the people that has difficulty matching a note, practice. And I mean it. I mean, take the time to practice. And the like kind of silly little like, oh, you're going to go up a half step or a whole step. Yeah. If the liturgy is not worth that amount of work, that's fine. Go put your effort in something else. You don't serve the altar then. Right, Stephen? Yeah. So if it's not worth the effort of learning how to sing, awesome. Go come attend Mass on Sundays and find something else to do with your time. But if you're willing to serve the altar, that means you're willing to learn. It means you're willing to work and put the work in for it. Okay? Singing is at least 60% listening. 60% or more. Listening and hearing and matching and knowing when you're singing in tune. And if you don't know how to do any of that stuff, then learn it. Practice it. Some people are absolutely 100% tone deaf. That's relatively rare, believe it or not. It's actually extremely rare. Some people are just not good at it and they just need to practice. Most people they just need to practice. If it's worth it to serve the altar, then it's worth it to put this work in and to come to the meetings on time and stuff like that. It's okay. Oh, I know, you're really important, Stephen. I get it. I've been picking on Stephen for 20 years and it has still doesn't get old. I love that guy, man. Okay. What is it? Inshallah 30, inshallah. Okay. If you're not sure you're in tune, or if you're not sure you know the melody, sing softly. Don't sing too loud. If you want to help yourself match a tone, hum. While the people are while the person is saying, when they start it, you, just hum in your own, so you can hear yourself and like, oh, okay, I'm matching, and then you can sing better. That's the way. That's what I mean by practice. Okay. Don't sing loud if you don't know it. Oh, there is a difference. I always remind people of this, especially older shemeshe. There is a difference between singing and screaming. Those are two different activities. Okay, one of them is correct and appropriate for the church, for liturgy. The other one, save it for your kids when you get home. Okay, those are two different things. When you are at the point where you can start one of the hymns, let's say at daily mass or at Ramsha, let's say, what I always tell people is just match the Amen that people are saying, which is matching the priest's prayer before that. Because priests, for the most part, are pretty good at singing in a kind of middle tone that most people can follow. Most priests are, hopefully. This is what I mean. People have, I think it's called a register, right, Monica? So your musical register is the notes that you can sing comfortably. What is it? Yeah. So these are the notes that people can sing comfortably, whatever they might be. What's an average register? What would be like a low? So let's say something like a C to a what? So let's say a G, an octave above it. So there's another C and then a G above that, right? Oh, really? You think just one octave is what's comfortable? Okay. So let's say this is what's comfortable for a lot of people, is this octave. Okay? So these are notes in between here. C, D, E, F, all the way back to C. This is this is like an average person's register. Okay? Here's the problem. Everybody's register is a little bit different. That's why I call this an average. This is a serious issue. If your register is up here, learn that about yourself. Let's say you just happen to sing really high. And that's just the way Bishop Basilio, his register is like up here. It's like two notes and it's all the way up here. That's just the way he sings. He sings really high. Okay, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But if he were to start a hymn, nobody would be able to follow him. And that's a problem because that means nobody else can sing after you. You see why it's a problem? So if you know that your register is like this, you know that about yourself. That means when you start a hymn, you start it uncomfortably low for you. You feel some discomfort so that everybody else can sing comfortably. Because this is not for you, it's for everybody else. Well, I don't know where my register is. Then learn. Let's say your register is down here. You have to start a hymn uncomfortably high. Maybe not that high. And if you're going to try, and you're going to hear from Father Andy, okay, that was a little too high. Try again next time. And you're going to learn about yourself. And it's worth the work and effort to learn about yourself that well. It gets even more complicated. A couple of you guys, when you start a hymn, your register is actually pretty wide. Let's say you have a pretty big range, right? If it's raining outside, or if you had a bad day, or if you have allergies, or if your dad yelled at you and you're depressed, you're not going to notice, but you're going to start lower than you usually do. I know, you know how I can tell this? Because a lot of people that are very good at matching, let's say a priest ends on this note and we say, Amen. A lot of people will start just a little bit lower. And that tells me that they're depressed. And I'm sorry that you're depressed and I'll pray for you, but leave it outside when you're in church, match the note. Repress your sadness when you're in church. Okay? This is the stuff that, and people notice it and people hear it. And I'm making you all very self-conscious. I know I'm making all of you self-conscious, and I'm doing it on purpose. Because you're never going to learn if you don't first doubt yourself. And you're going to go through an existential crisis. Maybe I've never sung anything correctly in my entire life, and that's fine. I want you to feel that a little bit because that's how you learn. Stephen, don't feel that bad. I think one time you sang something correctly. It was like in 2007. It was a really good day. Okay. Okay. So all of this just to sing one hymn at church? The answer to that is yes. And if this is not worth it, that's fine. Come to Mass, sing, worship God, receive the Eucharist. You're going to be a greater saint in heaven than anybody. But if you want to serve, this is the stuff you have to pay attention to. But this ruins my paying attention at Mass. It ruins my prayer at Mass. Yeah. Because serving is not about you. It is about the people of God. And it's this very sad, tragic thing that sometimes, not all the time, and it shouldn't be that much, but once in a while, your prayer life is not going to be as good as it would have been because you're a shemasha. Because, well, how am I supposed to pay attention to the gospel if I'm holding a candle in front of the gospel? That's like, and there's a freaking fire in front of me. It's about to set fire to my hair because I put too much gel this morning. And I little kid, whatever. Well, now you're paying attention to this candle and less to the gospel. Wasn't that bad? Yeah, it's bad for you. But it's better for the church that somebody's holding a candle because it shows that the gospels are worthy of respect. So you're sort of hurting yourself to help the church. And that is good for you. Think about it in that way. Remember, take yourself out of the center. You pay attention to stuff. Again, I'm not asking everybody to be super self-conscious of this all the time, but start to pay attention to it. And if you can do this, and if all of us can kind of tune ourselves to doing this, Mass will be glorious, even more glorious and beautiful than it is. And it's already beautiful, it's already glorious, but it'll be even more so. And it'll be thanks to you that it is. Okay. The reason why I remember in my youth going to Mass, and it was just a bunch of old crusty shemashe, and it was just a mind-blowing, beautiful experience. You know why it was a mind-blowing, beautiful experience? Because those shemashe bullied each other on a daily basis. If you said something, or if you mispronounced something, or sang a note wrong as a shemashe, oh, you were going to be mocked for weeks. Yeah. But that's how they kept each other in check. It was their weird way to respect the liturgy and the tradition that was handed on to them. There's something sort of beautiful about that. It means we're keeping our standards high as a church. That generation kind of died out about 20 years ago, in case you didn't notice. So we don't have that kind of level of shemesh anymore, but we can get back to it. And that's where I think you guys can help with that, okay? That's my little, too long of a talk. I talked a lot longer than I wanted to. But any questions or comments about that? Okay, good. So now because it's worth it, you're going to sit and listen to Monica, and she's going to teach you some songs. And you're going to miss pickleball.
Yeah.
Yep. Who's organizing it?
Me.
Oh, really? Yeah. You're going to be late, my friend. All right, I introduce Monica. Thank you.